Leave it out.
Night goggles on.
Clear.
Ready for the bell.
At the beginning of the movie, if you see this smart guy in a suit and think he's a big businessman or some top official, then you're totally wrong. This man is actually a professional, clever thief. 4 years ago, this man named Danny Ocean was sentenced for theft, and today is the day he's getting out on parole. But before his release, during the parole hearing, Danny tells the officers that 4 years ago, his wife left him, and because of that, he went into deep depression. That's why he took the wrong path. But now, a free life is waiting for him. He says he wants to live the rest of his life as a good man. Since his wife is no longer in his life, there's nothing to hold him back. The board believes him and gives him parole, but if you look at his face, does it really look like he's telling the truth? His eyes and smile are hiding something, like a big plan is already running in his head. After walking out of prison, Danny gives himself a clean transformation, fresh look, suit on. And just like that, it doesn't look like he came from prison at all. Right after that, he goes straight to a casino in Las Vegas. Even though, according to his parole rules, leaving the state is strictly forbidden. There, he finds a way to contact his old partner in crime, Rusty. Rusty was his partner back in the day. After finding out where Rusty is, Danny goes to meet him. Rusty is running a big casino game. He's a top-level professional gambler. Danny joins the poker table with a few others, and after a while, Rusty walks in. In front of everyone, they act like they don't know each other. But after the game ends, the two sit down like old friends and start talking. Then Danny shares his master plan with Rusty. Like I said before, a professional thief like Danny doesn't just get out of prison and become a saint. This time, his mind is set on something much bigger. He tells Rusty he's planning to rob the 3 biggest casinos in Las Vegas. From being a thief, he now wants to level up into a full-scale heist. At first, Rusty doesn't want to join, but when he thinks about the huge money involved, he agrees. But to pull off something this big, they need serious preparation, skilled people, and a lot of money. So they go to meet the wealthy businessman, Ruben Tishkoff. At first, when Ruben hears their plan, he bursts into laughter because the security inside those Las Vegas casinos is so tight that robbing them is almost impossible for anyone in the world. What don't they have? Cameras everywhere, high-tech sensors, a vault like a fortress, and guards carrying military-grade weapons. One look at those guards is enough to make anyone's legs shake. In all these years, no one has ever managed to pull off a heist in those casinos. Whoever tried ended up being caught right outside the door. So yeah, going to rob a casino like this is basically the same as walking into your own death. But to pro thieves like Daniel and Rusty, this is just another challenge. They don't back down from it. But Ruben still doesn't want to be part of their crazy plan. As they're about to leave, he asks out of curiosity which casinos they're targeting. That's when Daniel and Rusty reveal their plan. Bellagio Las Vegas, the Mirage, and MGM Grand Las Vegas. The moment Ruben hears these names, his eyes light up because these casinos belong to his business rival, Terry Benedict, the man who ruined his own casino business. So even though Ruben didn't want to fund the heist at first, the moment he hears Benedict's name, he agrees in a heartbeat. With his financial support locked in, Daniel and Rusty begin assembling their crew. They divide each task into separate categories and start hiring the best people in the city. Each of these people is wild and quirky in their own way. Their behavior alone will make you laugh. The first person they recruit is Frank Catton, a waiter at the Bellagio. We saw Daniel meet him earlier to get Rusty's information. Frank is going to be their inside man during the heist. Next, they hire 2 mechanic brothers, Virgil Malloy and Turk Malloy. These 2 are experts at working as drivers and mechanics on any heist mission. Then they bring in surveillance expert Livingston Dell, veteran con man Saul Bloom, and gymnastics expert Yen. Each one of them is top of the line in their field. For the explosives, there's only one name in their minds, Basher Tar. When Rusty finds him, he's already in the middle of blowing open a bank vault. His technique is insane. One blast, and the vault opens clean, but his team messes up and fails to shut off the security alarm. The moment they step inside, the loud alarm goes off, and the police storm the place. As they drag Basher out, Rusty suddenly shows up. He flashes a fake ID, pretending to be from the firearms department. He sends the officers away and acts like he's handling Basher himself. Then, in a quick move, he triggers a small explosion, and they escape right under the cops' noses. Rusty and Basher already know each other, and after hearing the plan, Basher jumps in without a second thought. That's how they build their team. 7 recruited specialists, plus Daniel, Rusty, and Ruben, making it a total of 11. Finally, they bring in one more guy, Linus Caldwell, a professional pickpocket. All 11 of them gather at Ruben's house in Las Vegas. Late at night, Daniel calls everyone together and starts briefing them about the job. Bellagio, the Mirage, and MGM Grand. These are 3 of the biggest casinos in Las Vegas. According to Nevada Gaming Commission rules, each casino must keep the same amount of cash in its vault as the total value of all the gaming chips in play. If you've seen any casino movie, you know players use special chips to play, and the total amount of those chips in these 3 casinos adds up to at least $70 to $80 million every single day. A few days later, a big boxing match is scheduled near the casino, and on a night like that, these casinos hit their absolute peak. That means around $150 million in transactions will flow through these casinos in a single night. All of that cash will be stored in a massive vault 200 feet below the main floor of the Bellagio, Las Vegas. The moment everyone hears $150 million, their eyes light up, but Daniel's calm voice makes it clear this isn't child's play. He explains that the security system there is on a deadly level. Once you enter the casino, you have to pass through multiple doors and iron grills. These are called casino cages. Every door is protected by PIN codes that automatically change every 12 hours. After that, you have to take the elevator down, and that elevator can only be accessed through the fingerprints of Terry Benedict, the casino owner, along with his chief security officer and the manager. If someone tries to bypass the fingerprint and force it down manually, the motion sensor will lock the elevator instantly. If they somehow make it down, the rest is, well, a little easier. They'll just have to take down the 2 armed guards in front of the vault. But these aren't just any guards. They're top tier, military trained. If they can get past the guards, they'll face one of the most secure vaults in the world. But before even reaching that stage, the entire surveillance system must be taken offline. And if, only if, they manage to open the vault, they'll have to figure out how to move out $150 million in cash. This sounds almost impossible, but that number, 150 million, is exactly what gives everyone the motivation to pull off something so insane. After Daniel briefs them on everything, the team starts preparing for the heist. For something this big, they need time. A lot of it. The first step is surveillance. Daniel tells everyone to go inside the casino and keep a close eye on every guard. Their names, routines, positions, when they eat, where they move, everything. Then Rusty manages to steal a guard's punch card with the help of a dancer. Using that card, they dress Livingston Dell as a maintenance worker and send him into the surveillance room. His job is to plant a chip inside the wiring. With that chip, Daniel and Rusty can control all the casino security cameras right from Ruben's house. Livingston swipes in with the card and successfully plants the chip. As soon as he does, Daniel and Rusty can see all the CCTV feeds on their monitors. But on his way out, Livingston runs into a guard. The guard calls out to him and Livingston freezes. He tries to rush out, but the guard hands him his phone saying, "You drop this." He had almost left his phone behind in panic. Meanwhile, back at Ruben's house, Daniel's heart nearly jumps out of his chest watching it all live. But luckily, Livingston makes it back safely. On the other side, Daniel sends Basher to inspect the power supply. On the heist night, that supply has to be cut. Linus goes in disguised as a balloon vendor to quietly observe from the inside. Then comes their biggest preparation step, building a replica of the Bellagio vault. They have to practice on it before the real job. While everyone is busy working on the fake vault, Rusty meets Linus. Linus has been sneaking inside the casino in different disguises for days. He tells Rusty that Benedict is a very alert and strict man. Every day, he personally checks in with the manager, knows all the guards by face, and meets the high-profile gamblers himself. And if anyone crosses him, he doesn't stop until he destroys them completely. Once, when an employee tried to steal, Benedict ruined not just him, but his entire family. But even Benedict has a weakness. Like most billionaires, it's a woman. Linus doesn't know her name yet, but Rusty does. He says her name is Tess Ocean. How does he know that? We find out in the next scene. Rusty pulls Daniel aside and says, "If this plan is about Tess, I'm out." That's when we learn Tess is actually Daniel's ex-wife. And now, she's Terry Benedict's girlfriend. Daniel admits it's true, but he also says he can keep his emotions out of the plan. He won't do anything stupid until the job is done. For the first time, we see Benedict on screen. One look and it's clear. He's a billionaire. Tess, his current girlfriend, works as a curator at a museum. When Benedict visits her at the museum and asks her out for dinner, she agrees. That night, she waits at the restaurant for him, but the man who walks up behind her isn't Benedict. It's Daniel. Tess is shocked. She tells him to leave immediately. Daniel apologizes for the past and asks her to come back to him, but Tess doesn't melt. She firmly says she's with Benedict now. She warns him that if Benedict sees them together, it'll be a disaster, but Daniel knows exactly what he's doing. Meanwhile, Saul Bloom heads to the casino disguised as a wealthy businessman. Daniel had already dressed him up in a perfect billionaire look, suit, bodyguards, everything. At the casino, Saul introduces himself to the manager as Lyman Zerga, an arms dealer. The manager informs Benedict, and Benedict comes to meet him. Speaking in flawless Russian accent, Saul tells him that a briefcase containing some extremely valuable diamonds will soon arrive in Las Vegas. He needs a secure place to keep it safe. Benedict offers to store the briefcase in the casino's safe house, but Saul says a safe house isn't secure enough. He wants a high security place. You probably guessed what Saul meant. He wants Benedict to store the briefcase in his casino vault. What will be put in those boxes instead of jewels you'll see soon enough. After Saul and Benedict finish talking, Benedict goes to meet Tess. Seeing Danny with Tess, Benedict jabs at him about his prison sentence. Danny keeps calm. When Benedict and Tess flirt, Danny leaves. But Danny won't let that slide for long. After creating an exact replica of the casino's vault at Ruben's house, Danny starts practice runs with his crew. He sends gymnast Yen into the casino vault as a test to open the door from inside. Yen proves perfect during practice with his skills. Meanwhile, Yen, dirty and sweaty, returns from checking the power supply in the underground tunnel. He reports there was a problem with the power feed they planned to blow. Casino electricians are already trying to fix it. The feeds are set up in separate lines, so cutting them cleanly is very hard. Yen has another idea. If they can get a pinch device that emits an electromagnetic pulse, they could shut the power for 30 seconds. That would be enough for them to slip in. After hearing this, Rusty and Danny steal the device. They succeed, but before entering the building, they left Linus inside. In the car, Virgil and Turk start fighting. Linus gets annoyed, jumps out, and runs into the building. After Danny and the team steal the pinch device and return, they can't find Linus. They worry. Soon they see Linus running across the mezzanine of that very building, chased by some people. Danny tells the van to circle back. Linus times his move and leaps onto the roof through a skylight. On the way in, Yen hurts his hand again. This crew is basically a comedy circus. Somehow they return to Ruben's with the pinch device, only to get bad news. Livingston tells Danny Benedict has flagged him as suspicious. The moment Danny enters the casino, they've placed someone on him. Rusty shouts that this is his fault because he stupidly met Tess. Now the plan could be ruined. Rusty declares he's out. From now on, Rusty will control everything. The part of the plan that required Danny to trigger the vault explosives was meant for Danny, but if Yen agrees to do it, Danny won't need to. Danny can't argue much about it. Finally, the night of the casino heist arrives. Before the boxing match starts, Virgil and Turk, in the guise of cash couriers, bring Saul's briefcase into the vault. Benedict is so strict, he personally frisked Saul and took him into the vault. On the way, someone in the distance recognizes Saul and calls his name. Everyone thinks the man is crazy, and two of Saul's security teammates take him outside. Inside the vault, they scan the briefcase and find only 4 green diamonds. Benedict says since nothing harmful was inside, he'll store the briefcase in his vault. But he won't let the owner in. He doesn't trust him. Benedict has his manager bring the briefcase inside. On the way out, Linus, in an officer's disguise, approaches Benedict and claims to be an officer of the Nevada Gaming Commission. Earlier, Benedict had learned from one guard that Danny had been seen around the casino, so Benedict put 2 men on him. Meanwhile, Rusty arranges to stuff Yen into the trunk to get him inside. Because Yen is a gymnast, he can fit into the trunk easily. Linus, disguised as a gaming officer, tells Benedict that a convicted man is working in the casino under a fake name. The man known as Ramon is actually Frank Catton. But if Frank is a waiter and also on our team, why would they tip Frank off? You'll find out soon, and it will blow your mind. While Linus talks to Benedict, Frank suddenly becomes furious and lunges at him. Linus dodges. During the struggle, Linus performs his real job, pocketing Benedict's next 12-hour security code. That's why they staged the act of exposing Frank. It's a master-level plan. Benedict doesn't do much to Frank, he just fires him through the manager. While Benedict is busy, Virgil and Turk get their job done. Posing as cash suppliers, they bring the money trunks to the vault guards. And inside one of those trunks is Yen. The faux workers have no ID cards, so when the guards ask, they say they left their cards at home. They even start a fake argument to distract the guards. The guards don't suspect much and take the trunk inside. Meanwhile, Daniel, who had been sitting in the casino, goes to Tess. Tess tells him she knows he has some angle. She warns him that if he tries anything, he'll be in big trouble. Danny says he only came to say goodbye. He kisses her. Seeing this, the two men trailing Danny take him to meet Benedict in another room, but their real plan was to beat him up. There, someone big and muscular was ready to rough him up. The man punches Danny hard in the face right in front of the two guards, but as soon as the guards leave him behind to get beaten up, the man suddenly says, "Sorry bro, I hit a little too hard." Yep, he was already on Danny's payroll. He helps Danny climb up to the top of the elevator. Danny wastes no time and pulls himself onto the elevator roof. Meanwhile, Linus makes his way through all the security doors and arrives near the elevator. Just then, a guard notices him on CCTV and starts getting suspicious. But this is exactly where Saul Bloom makes his move. For a while now, they've been showing the live feed of Saul's briefcase sitting in the vault. Saul starts pretending to gasp for air, faking a heart attack. Just as the guard spots Linus on the monitor, Saul collapses on the floor. All attention shifts from the monitor to Saul. They rush to call a doctor, and that's when Livingston Dell plays his masterstroke. Using the chip he installed earlier, he switches the CCTV feed to pre-recorded footage. Now you get why Saul faked the heart attack, right? Absolute mastermind planning. The doctor who comes to check on Saul is actually Rusty Ryan in disguise. After some fake CPR, he declares Saul dead. Then, with help from Virgil Malloy and Turk Malloy, he wheels Saul's body out. Honestly, watching this part is pure gold. Meanwhile, Linus pops open the elevator hatch and finds Danny already sitting there. He's stunned, finally realizing their earlier fight was just a setup. Linus and Danny attach ropes to the outside of the elevator and rappel down. They signal Livingston and Basher Tar. Basher, already ready with the pinch device, activates it. In an instant, a small blast releases an electromagnetic pulse, and the entire Las Vegas Strip loses power for 30 seconds. At that exact time, Terry Benedict and Tess Ocean are watching the boxing match, completely unaware of the chaos unfolding inside the casino. In the darkness, Danny and Linus drop a light strip down the shaft and lower themselves on ropes into the vault area. Exactly 30 seconds later, the power comes back, but by then, they're already inside the casino cage, standing right in front of the vault. Two guards are still there, but with a quick use of a knockout device, they put the guards down. Inside the main vault is another inner vault. That's where the $150 million is stored. Outside is where valuables like Saul's briefcase are kept. Danny picks up the briefcase, pulls out the diamonds, which are actually explosives. Yep, those diamonds were their Trojan horse all along. He taps on the door from outside, a signal for Yen, who's already inside. Yen jumps to the door and bangs from the inside to show where to place the charges. Danny starts setting the explosives exactly on those spots. But while Yen is signaling, his bandaged hand gets stuck in the door. Livingston sees this on the monitor and keeps shouting for Danny not to trigger it, but the signal can't reach him underground. Danny hits the trigger, and nothing happens. Why? He forgot to insert the battery. He fixes it, hits the trigger again, and boom! The vault door blows open. Ironically, that tiny mistake saves Yen's life. Then, Livingston gives Rusty another signal. Rusty, no longer in the doctor disguise, now makes his next move. He dials a number. The phone rings in Tess's pocket. She's shocked. She doesn't even have a phone, but at Benedict's insistence, she answers. Rusty speaks from the other end, telling Benedict they're robbing his vault. Now, why reveal this at this moment? You'll find out soon. Tess also realizes what's happening. Danny must have slipped the phone into her pocket during that goodbye kiss earlier. Rusty instructs Benedict to check his surveillance feed. Benedict looks at the monitors. Everything seems normal, but Livingston switches from fake to real footage. Benedict now sees the truth. Three men inside his vault filling bags with cash. Danny, Linus, and Yen. Benedict is speechless. He orders Tess to leave. Then furious, he tells Rusty, "Congratulations, you made it in, but you won't make it out alive." Rusty replies coolly, "Actually, you'll help us get out." He explains they only took half of the money. The other half has explosives wired to it. If Benedict tries anything, they'll blow up everything. Vault and cash alike. If he cooperates, they'll leave the other half for him. Benedict must comply. He agrees, but secretly, his manager alerts the SWAT team. Outside the hotel, Tess confronts Rusty. Meanwhile, Benedict's men load the cash bags into a van. Once the van starts, his men follow it. SWAT kills the power again and moves toward the vault. But before they reach it, a massive explosion shakes the vault. When the SWAT team finally enters the vault, they report that there's no money inside, and Linus, Yen, and Danny are gone too. They must have escaped before the team even got there. Hearing this, Terry Benedict panics. He assumes the robbers robbers have tricked him and are driving away with the entire $150 million. He immediately orders his men to stop the van. But before they can even reach it, the van stops on its own. Benedict's men rush to it and shoot the tires flat. A second later, there's a loud explosion, but no fire, just smoke. Inside the bags, nothing but party flares. And in the driver's seat, no one. Instead, they find a security camera. The van had been remote controlled by Virgil Malloy and Turk Malloy from a distance. When Benedict's men tell him there's no money in the van, his jaw drops. The bags the guards loaded earlier were just decoys. So, where's the real money? He quickly calls his manager and tells him to check the vault CCTV footage carefully, specifically the floor. When the manager says he doesn't see the Bellagio logo on the vault floor, Benedict realizes it. The entire vault footage was fake. A few days earlier, he'd installed new tiles on the vault floor with Bellagio written on them. But in the footage, that logo wasn't there. That means the robbers had built an identical replica vault and filmed everything in advance at Ruben Tishkoff's house. That practice vault was never just for practice. It was their masterstroke. While Benedict and his men were busy reacting to the fake footage, Danny's crew had already taken the real money and vanished. And here's the biggest twist. The SWAT team Benedict called, that call went straight to Livingston Dell. The fake SWAT team was actually Rusty and the crew in disguise. They blew the vault door themselves and drove out in the real SWAT truck, loaded with the cash. Even the professor from Money Heist would have paused to appreciate a plan like this. Benedict is in total shock. Then a thought hits him. Could Danny be behind this? He storms into the room where Danny was supposed to be beaten up, but when he opens the door, he sees the hired thug still punching him. Danny had quietly slipped back into the room earlier and resumed taking the beating to keep up appearances. Benedict asks if he has anything to do with the robbery. Danny looks genuinely confused and says, "What robbery?" Benedict orders his guards to throw him out. As he's being escorted out, Danny casually says, "Someone robbed your casino and took everything?" This makes Benedict stop him one last time and demand a confession, but Danny doesn't answer directly. Instead, he says, "If I can get your money back, will you let Tess go?" Benedict replies without hesitation, "Yes, of course." And that proves one thing: money is all that matters to him. Danny says he knows someone who can get in touch with every big thief in America. If Benedict gives him 72 hours, he might be able to help. But Benedict doesn't trust him. He calls the police and has Danny arrested for violating parole. Meanwhile, Rusty calls Tess Ocean and tells her to turn on her hotel TV to channel 88. She sees the secret conversation between Benedict and Danny, where Benedict agreed to let her go if he gets his money back. In that moment, Tess realizes the truth. To Benedict, she's just an option, but to Danny, she's everything. When the police take Danny away for violating parole, since he wasn't allowed to leave the state, Tess tells the officers he's her husband. As she walks away from Benedict, she says, "I saw everything." Then she turns her back on him. Benedict loses both his money and Tess. Meanwhile, Danny gets 6 more months for violating parole. The rest of the crew enjoy their share of the loot, $13 million each. 6 months later, Rusty picks Danny up from prison, and waiting in the car is Tess. Their spark is back. But Benedict isn't the type to let go easily. As soon as they drive off, 2 of his men quietly follow their car, and with that, the movie ends, setting the stage for the next chapters of the war between Danny Ocean and Terry Benedict. And this beautiful story comes to an end. If you like the story, don't forget to like, comment, and share. To hear more amazing stories, subscribe and stay with us. Until then, I'll be leaving, and we'll meet again with another wonderful story.